That's why it feels so forced, like something to prove. And that's why this feels like, I'm not what? I wish the bitch would. Y'all know better.
The minute Nicki made it clear she wasn't feeling him like that, Drake started linking up with her ops and throwing shade. He even collaborated with Meek Mill after Nicki hinted that Meek mistreated her during their relationship.
Drake saying that Kendrick defamed him is indeed the pot calling the kettle beige, but that's not even why I'm giving him Donkey of the Day. Okay, I'm giving him Donkey of the Day because Drake is proving without a shadow of a doubt that he simply doesn't understand culture.
And Spotify, stop forcing Drake music into my playlists. Stop putting him in my hip hop mixes. Stop putting him in my daily mix 1s, 2s, or 3. None of that. We know he doing bad. We know he doing bad.
Drake's 2024 struggles just hit another snag, and Nicki Minaj unintentionally made things worse. Old tweets of hers have resurfaced, where she accused Spotify of shady practices to promote Drake's music. The timing couldn't be worse for him, as he's now suing UMG and Spotify, alleging similar tactics were used to push Kendrick Lamar's diss track, Not Like Us. For those unfamiliar, Drake recently filed lawsuits against both companies, claiming they manipulated the success of Kendrick's track through bots, payola, and secret deals. But Nicki's resurfaced tweets from her Queen album era paint a different picture. Back then, she slammed UMG for flooding playlists with Drake's music and allegedly boosting his streams artificially, actions she felt undermined her own career. Fast forward to today, and Drake seems to be unraveling. Instead of accepting defeat after Kendrick's diss dominated, he's pointing fingers at UMG, Spotify, and even the NFL. Meanwhile, fans are dragging him, saying Nicki's old revelations expose how the industry has been coddling him for years. They argue that his reaction to Kendrick's win shows he can't handle the tables turning, despite his untouchable persona. So, what exactly did Nicki reveal in those tweets? And could Drake's lawsuits backfire and damage his reputation further? Let's break it down.
It's not that, Joe. It's that people for years have been saying these ridiculous things about me.
Nicki Minaj's old tweets about Spotify's favoritism towards Drake have resurfaced, and the timing couldn't be worse. Just as Drake finds himself in a messy legal battle with Universal Music Group, UMG, Nicki's past statements are fueling debates that aren't working in his favor. Here's the context. Drake is currently accusing UMG of shady tactics like streaming bots, payola, and secret deals to inflate the success of Kendrick Lamar's diss track, Not Like Us. He even hinted that there might be some conspiracy-level plotting between UMG and Spotify to tarnish his image. But ironically, Nicki's 2018 rant about Spotify now makes Drake's claims look hypocritical. Back when Drake dropped Scorpion, Spotify went above and beyond to promote it. His face was everywhere. Not just on rap playlists, but even on completely unrelated ones like Best of British and Fresh Gospel. It felt like Spotify had launched a full-scale Drake campaign, which helped Scorpion break records with over 732,000 first-week units. At the time, Nicki wasn't shy about calling out Spotify. She accused them of prioritizing Drake while sidelining her and other artists. On X, formerly Twitter, she claimed Spotify had unfairly penalized her for playing her music early on Queen Radio, despite her being one of their top artists. Fast forward to today, and Drake is suing UMG and Spotify for allegedly using those same questionable methods, but this time to Kendrick's advantage. According to his legal filing, UMG gave Spotify a massive discount on licensing fees to push Kendrick's track while also fabricating 30 million streams. The twist? Fans are now digging up receipts showing how Spotify gave Drake unprecedented support in the past. Screenshots have surfaced of Drake gracing the covers of playlists like Soul Coffee and Fresh Gospel, leading fans to point out the irony. One user wrote, "Drake says Spotify is against him now, but who remembers when they shoved him onto every playlist during Scorpion? Funny how the narrative changes when he's no longer the favorite." This all comes at a time when Drake is facing backlash for what some see as an inability to take a loss gracefully. Critics argue that his past success was built on the same system he's now challenging in court, and the fact that Nicki, once one of Drake's closest allies during the golden era of Young Money, was one of the first to call out Spotify's favoritism, only adds another layer to the drama. Speaking of Young Money, the Nicki-Drake-Wayne trio once dominated the music scene with hit after hit. Fans admired their bond, which seemed unshakable at the time. Drake and Nicki's chemistry and collaborations often sparked rumors of something more than friendship. But now, with Nicki's resurfaced comments and Drake's current meltdown, it seems the cracks in their once unbreakable alliance are more visible than ever.
Been waiting for this moment for
Life?
And so I was just wondering, really, what is like the peak moment on that stage?
You want to know what, Drizzy? I really love busting out from underneath the floor doing Roman's Revenge. You know, when I say I'll kick that punt, and when I say, you know, well, if you ain't and get off the pot.
Very powerful.
You know what I mean. We really connect, and it really, you know.
I'm also a very big fan of all of your musical compositions, and I was just wondering if we'll be getting, you know, any new Nicki Minaj anytime soon, because I just think it's exciting. It's really exciting. It's really exciting.
Yeah, you said that. Well, you know, Drizzy, I have been keeping everything sort of stored inside of me. So I'm just in complete tour mode. And yeah, I've been getting a lot of requests to do some features, you know, but if I can't give myself wholeheartedly, you know, I always pass. And, you know, I definitely never want to be, you know, just doing too many features that they start getting watered down and I'm not giving my whole true, you know, self. So I think that once we're off the tour with Brit.
Sorry, just making sure. Oh no, that was my phone, sorry. Go ahead.
I think that once we're off the tour with Brit, we'll start. But I mean, when my family calls, like when my Young Money and Cash Money family calls me for something, you know, I hop in the jet and get it done.
So do you think that you'll be on Take Care? Like, will you have the time?
I gotta check. I gotta see.
It's more a yes than a no.
If I could pencil you in, though. I was saying if
All
I
right,
could
cool.
pencil
Verbal agreement.
Take
Thank
Care.
you. Appreciate it.
Verbal agreement.
Bye, Drizzy.
Nicki Minaj has always referred to Drake as her little brother, though it's no secret that Drake harbored a crush on her. For years, their bond seemed unshakable, even if they hit a few bumps along the way. However, things took a messy turn in 2015 when Nicki started dating Meek Mill. That relationship sparked a major feud between Meek and Drake, with Meek publicly accusing Drake of using ghostwriters. This put Nicki in an uncomfortable position, caught in the middle of a battle between her boyfriend and her longtime friend. In a 2015 interview with the New York Times, Nicki opened up about the situation, saying, "I hate it. It doesn't make me feel good. You don't ever want to choose sides between people you love. It's ridiculous. I just want it to be over." After Nicki and Meek broke up in early 2017, her relationship with Drake seemed to recover quickly. The two were back in the studio in no time, alongside Lil Wayne, recreating the classic Young Money magic fans had come to love. But here's where things get intriguing. Fans have speculated for years that Nicki and Drake might have been more than friends, and Drake himself didn't exactly squash those rumors. On his 2010 mixtape Thank Me Later, Drake made his feelings crystal clear. In the song Miss Me, he rapped, "I love Nicki Minaj. I told her I'd admit it. Hope one day we get married just to say we effing did it." Subtle? Not at all. And at the time, Nicki was in a long-term relationship with Safari Samuels, which made Drake's confession even bolder. Nicki, for her part, always kept things lighthearted. She brushed off Drake's advances with humor, never taking things too seriously. But she also knew how to keep the buzz alive. From cheeky tweets to the infamous lap dance she gave Drake in the Anaconda video, Nicki had a way of feeding the speculation while maintaining clear boundaries. Fans couldn't get enough, and the playful tension between them became one of the most talked-about dynamics in hip-hop. Back in 2010, Drake and Nicki Minaj had fans buzzing when they joked about getting married. However, it turned out to be part of the storyline for Nicki's Moment for Life music video. But by 2011, It seemed Drake's feelings might be more serious. In an interview with the Daily Beast, he opened up about how deeply he admired Nicki, saying, "I like the stripped-down Nicki. I like Nicki with no makeup, black hair, casual clothes in a recording booth, rapping an amazing verse. That's sexy to me. I know some great women, but all jokes aside, Nicki is somebody I could spend my life with because I think we understand each other." Fast forward to 2019, and Nicki surprised everyone by marrying Kenneth Petty. The following year, in September 2020, she welcomed their first child. Meanwhile, Drake's path to parenthood took a very different turn. In 2017, he became a father when Sophie Brousseau, a former French adult film actress, gave birth to their son, Adonis. Since then, rumors about the state of Nicki and Drake's friendship have been a constant topic of discussion. Their relationship took a complicated turn after Nicki's split from Meek Mill. Nicki accused Meek of physically mistreating her, with multiple eyewitnesses backing her claims. Instead of showing public support for Nicki during this turbulent time, Drake collaborated with Meek on their 2018 track Going Bad. This move came the same year Nicki married Kenneth Petty, adding fuel to speculation about tension between her and Drake. Despite everything, Nicki maintained her composure and avoided public drama with Drake. She even defended him during his infamous beef with Pusha T, standing by him when much of the industry sided against him. But by 2023, whispers of a falling out grew louder, especially after Drake unexpectedly pulled Nicki's feature from his For All the Dogs album. What made the situation even messier was Drake's earlier promise. In July 2023, during a Detroit show, he hyped up fans by announcing that Nicki would appear on the album, marking their first collaboration in years. The sudden removal of her feature left fans confused and reignited speculation about what might have gone wrong between the once inseparable duo.
This album for you. I'm gonna give away one thing off the album in Detroit tonight because I got a lot of love for Detroit. So I'm gonna have to tell you, like, me and Nicki Minaj did our first song in like a really long time. I'm excited. Got a lot of love for her.
Fans were counting down the days for Nicki Minaj's highly anticipated feature on Drake's For All the Dogs. Nicki herself had been hyping the album as if it was going to be a game changer, leaving everyone excited for what seemed like another iconic collaboration between the two. After all, their past hits together have been nothing short of legendary. But when the album finally dropped, Nicki's voice was nowhere to be heard. Instead, the project included features from 21 Savage, J. Cole, Bad Bunny, and Sexy Red, but no Nicki. Naturally, the Barbs were outraged, feeling blindsided and let down. Many couldn't understand how Nicki, who had been enthusiastically promoting the album, ended up left off it entirely. So, what happened to the promised feature? Fans online quickly started piecing things together, and some think this situation boils down to Drake's alleged issues with rejection. Let's be real, Drake has a history of channeling unrequited love into his music. His albums often feel like open diaries, and when it comes to Nicki, his feelings over the years haven't exactly been subtle. From gushing about her in interviews to flirting on stage, Drake's admiration for Nicki has been evident. Fans have shipped them as a couple for years, but Nicki has always kept things firmly in the Big Brother zone. For some, it's not hard to imagine that this dynamic might have played a role in the missing collaboration, and it's left everyone speculating about what really went down behind the scenes.
Drake got rejected by Nicki Minaj live on stage. While they were performing together, Drake was flirting with Nicki, but she wasn't into it. Despite that, Drake kept going, not realizing when to stop. Nicki eventually grabbed the mic and called him out in front of the entire crowd.
Let's not forget, this isn't the first time Drake's history with women has raised eyebrows. Take Rihanna, for example. Drake spent years publicly fawning over her, but once Rihanna moved on, found love, and started building her family, Drake's demeanor shifted from love-struck to throwing subtle jabs whenever he had the chance. As for the rumored fling between Nicki Minaj and Drake, nothing has ever been officially confirmed, but there's been plenty of speculation. Back in September 2013, Hollywood Life published a report based on a media takeout story that claimed Nicki and Drake shared a steamy night together. But it didn't end the way Drake hoped. According to the article, Drake was head over heels for Nicki at the time and believed their night together would lead to something serious. However, Nicki reportedly didn't see it that way. Sources from the article said, Drake made it no secret he was in love with Nicki and everyone knew it. He finally caught her on a good day and they hooked up, but for Nicki, it was a one-time thing. While Drake might have seen it as the beginning of a relationship, Nicki allegedly viewed it as nothing more than a fleeting moment. After the alleged rejection, things seemed to take a turn. Drake linked up with Meek Mill, someone accused of mistreating Nicki during their relationship, and later started collaborating with female rappers who were considered Nicki's competition. The drama escalated recently when Drake released a collaboration with Elle, one of Nicki's biggest rivals, on an unreleased track from his massive content drop. Nicki didn't let it slide. Just hours after Drake's drop, she threw some pointed shade during a chat with fans on Stationhead. Without naming names, she called out, "Two ugly boys teaming up with a desperate, ugly girl," which many interpreted as a jab at Drake, Party Next Door, who had just posted a photo with Elle and Elle herself. The situation only added more fuel to the fire in their already complicated relationship.
So, Ugg Boy 1 and Ugg Boy 2. They know they forever gonna have a willing participant because our girls are so desperate for this thing, you know. They so desperate. If a mother tell them to go and catch a wild tuna, skin it and eat it, they would do it. You understand what I'm saying? They would teach themselves that very day how to hunt, fish, swim, kill, eat, cook, everything. You see, because they want it so bad they can taste it. And when you taste it, you want it again. But honey child, they ain't finna taste no more.
Calling Elle ugly might have been a bit much, and Nicki probably didn't need to go that far to make her point. Still, most fans are standing firmly in her corner, arguing that she has every right to be frustrated with Drake. After all, she's consistently supported him through his countless beefs while he seems to prioritize his own interests. Now, with Nicki's resurfaced tweets revealing how Spotify gave Drake's music an extra push, many fans are calling it karma. They're saying it's ironic that Drake, who's benefited from the industry's behind-the-scenes strategies for years, is now crying foul when someone else uses the same tactics against him. But what's your take on this situation? Do you think Drake's legal battle with UMG and Spotify is a smart move, or is it just adding to his growing list of embarrassments? Can he recover from this mess, or is he really going out the way fans are saying? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to stay tuned for the next video.